Hey everybody, thanks for logging on and getting the forecast from the Wave 3 News storm tracking team. Kevin Hart and Brian. What about Brian's new haircut?
Yeah.
It's all the rage in the building, Brian. And people are emailing in. This is crazy.
I like your hair too.
Yeah, what few I have left. We were talking about this earlier, and Brian said I could go with the backwards fade.
Yeah. A reverse fade.
The reverse fade, yeah.
That's good. Welcome back. Everybody missed you. So I'm sure they're glad to see you on
Not
here.
sure about that, but I guess I'm glad to be back, right?
Yeah, and now the weather's starting to warm up soon. So, coincidence?
But don't blame me just because it's not snowed recently. Anybody that logs on to the blog, which is, by the way, the most popular thing on wave3.com, knows what a snow lover Brian is. And you are in... I mean, this is not the right part of the country, evidently, huh?
I wore black 3 days last week. I may have to wear it more often.
Morning. Yeah. Well, in fact, let's start out because when we look back, as we started doing this afternoon, when we were looking back at where we were at this point last year, which happened to be one of the snowiest winters that we'd had in a long time, we only had 26.9% of the country covered in snow.
Yeah, and look at this year. We've had some decent systems. They've all missed us, but it has built that snowpack further to the south, which really helped get us down to that one above, by the way, last week with that snowpack. Now, I will say that after the 14th last year, we did really add a lot of snow cover.
Exactly.
But the first half of January, we're actually ahead of the game from last year.
So for all the snow lovers, hang in there. It's just January 14th here. We have far more winter to go. No snow showing up, but we see a few, as Paoli Peaks pops up there. Of course, they have snow there. They make it. And finally, they got their season started, though it was almost a record late start. But it was nice to see the sun today, and we do have some clouds streaming in and eventually some precipitation.
Yeah, exactly. For the first time since 9 o'clock on Monday night, we're above freezing now, but we're still cold enough and we're going to drop low enough that we got to start watching the radar carefully. And you don't see much out there yet, but notice that the clouds are moving back in and see just a few snowflakes in Missouri and Illinois. This was expected to be a bigger system about a week ago. It's usually the case. It trended weaker, but it's still on the maps, and it is heading into a cold atmosphere tonight, and that ground is still cold. So we're watching for the potential for every single little flake that falls tonight to stick.
Yeah, some places are going to wind up with at least, a chance to see some of these light snow showers and flurries. The best chance, the model points this out pretty well, and I think we're in agreement that it's going to be mainly south of Louisville. So by mid-morning tomorrow, it'll all be passing by. But you're right, when the ground temperature is so cold in the 20s, you can get some slick spots pretty fast. It's going to be quick hitting. It's not going to be a whole lot, but could cause a few problems.
It's like a sideways clipper, if you will. The highest
Are you talking about my hair again?
It'd be the highest amount be in Illinois, but the system will be weakening as it heads east, but still could produce a half inch. Can't rule that out in several locations. And as we saw this morning, a dusting closed schools in 2 counties. So a half inch could do the same thing again, so just be aware.
No question about that. It only takes a few slick spots to really create some big problems. And speaking of big problems today, one thing we were working with emergency personnel in our newsroom happened to be the fires that were going on in town. 2 fires in Fern Creek. Oftentimes we see this happen when the temperatures get so cold that people are trying to find alternative heating sources, and that causes fires. But today we were keeping an eye on the wind, the dew point, the firefighters, and the conditions that they were working in.
Yeah, and they've learned some of the causes. They're going to be sharing those with you. Come up at 5 o'clock on the news, the very latest thinking on that. And we'll talk about the weather aspect as well, how it influenced. But scary moments in Fern Creek, I'm sure, for a lot of folks.
We will be with you at 5, 5:30, 6, 7, 7:30, and 11 o'clock with updated forecasts. Glad to be back in the saddle here, and a big thanks to Brian for holding down the fort.
I get to have dinner at home tonight. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm back here having dinner. Yeah, it's one of those Hot Pocket nights again. Anyway, have a good night, and thanks for logging on to wave3.com.